All right, hello and welcome to the final GFL game of this week. We're watching the Toledo Timberwolves taking on the Honolulu Waves. The Timberwolves in the front of the entire league in the driver's seat. The Waves trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. So we're going to go ahead and see how these two battle it out. But first, we're going to look at the expert picks. And my goodness, Honolulu, a 23% chance. Honolulu taking a very long shot at trying to win this game. The Timberwolves with a 73% chance to win. 77% chance to win, apologies, as all the analysts have the Timberwolves taking a big victory with no less than 5 points outside of Joe, 8. And of course, obviously, Dave and James taking massive double-digit wins for the Timberwolves. So we're going to go ahead and see how this works out, gets itself situated in the Honolulu Waves home stadium. And for any of you who are not familiar with the GFL, these teams all have their own home stadiums. Unlike the NAGA, these teams will have unique locations to their own teams, of course, provided that obviously there are only 8 of them, which allows it to be a little bit easier than the NAGA. As the kick will now be away. Mr. Singleton, number 32, trying to bring it up. He'll be stopped just shy of the 19. Oh, apologies. He'll be stopped at the 19. Of course, you can see here the GFL players here. Not many known, not many big namesakes here. The offensive line, probably the most unrecognizable for a lot of people watching the GFL. But of course, the good offensive lines will, of course, make themselves known as Messina. Oh my goodness, what a catch. Duckworth throwing a dart for a first down. And that'll get us started here. As the Waves promptly move on the first play of the game. Duckworth fakes the handoff, running back in protection. Nobody there available. A little bit of a comeback route on the left side of the field. And of course, now Duckworth going to hand it off to Singleton. Singleton in a botched blocking scheme on the left side. The left guard trying to pull out to the left. The tackle getting confused. I believe that was the wide receiver and or tight end who they got confused as well. 4-man rush. McCullough. Oh my goodness, the stiff arm. Gain of 36 yards. Terrell Rhodes now coming in for him. Oh my. 1st and 10 at the 31. Travis McCullough. First reception for the largest gain of the day. Duckworth, linebacker, almost spying him, and it's intercepted by Booth. And Booth will be taken down by number 17. And a wonderful, beautiful drive stopped by this Timberwolves defense. As the Timberwolves now scanning the defense, going to motion a man to the outside. Hands off to Branch. Branch taken down for a loss of 1. And Nesmith with the TFL. A lot of these players are obviously free agents, but a lot of them are playing for a chance to get into the NAGA with some of the talent they have. A lot of wide receivers have been taken, obviously, due to the high amount of talent in the NAGA. As Lowe back to pass, we'll continue this thought process later. What a swat down by that defender over there. A lot of the wide receivers have major talent in the NAGA, so a lot of high-end receiving talent is forced to play in the GFL. Not that they should. Oh my goodness, that could have been a wide open touchdown on the far left side. They'll be forced to punt. And this is something I don't think anybody would have seen today, is that the Honolulu Waves outgaining the Toledo Timberwolves through their first 2 drives. And oh my goodness, Singleton with a stiff arm. Number 14, unable to process how he just got destroyed and demolished in front of a crowd of 80,000 people. Duckworth back to pass. Defender gets through. Loss of 7. And Williamson with a major sack. Now Duckworth, empty backfield. 4-man rush. Defender gets through again. Oh, that could have been a second interception. A bit of a traffic jam there with the linebacker and defensive back. Ryan Duckworth, 2 for 5, 48 yards and 1 interception. If you count the interception, he's technically 3 for 5, which is a pretty good stat line if you ask me for accuracy. Duckworth back to pass, 4-man rush again, bombing it over. And of course, no DPI for moving a wide receiver and pushing them off of their route. So, of course, this now will be a punt. This will be booted just shy of the 25. Milner with the return, taken down. Oh my goodness, just absolutely pushed back like a mosh pit. 1st and 10 for the Timberwolves now. So hand off to Branch. Branch off to the right. Branch, oh, unable. Gain of 5 yards. Had a shot at a 1st down, but he'll now be replaced by Jonathan Carmichael. Another Timberwolves again. Carmichael. Oh my goodness, Carmichael. How hard he got hit made me pronounce his name Carmichael, which might be the name he needs to change to after that massive hit. Loss of 4 on that one. So 3rd and 10 again. Low off to the left, and that is dropped. Defensive back was in coverage, and a exotic blitz by the Waves. My goodness, some Brian Flores-esque play calling there. Taking lots of risk because you simply cannot stop some of the plays. Singleton, the stiff arm. A lot of punt returners today getting a lot of stiff arms. Should be an interesting game today with how many go through. Singleton beats the defender. Singleton had a lane. Oh, gain of 13. Had a shot at a massive 60-yard touchdown. Unable to grab that one. Go. Duckworth back to pass. Going to throw that one away. Now entering today, Duckworth has had 728 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Unfortunately for him, he will now be logged with an interception, joining only 3 other quarterbacks in the GFL. Connor Lowe, Jake Ratliff, and of course Jake McGrew, and that is too far to the left there. So a rare club to join, not exactly the best club either. The unfortunate side of it all is that Jake McGrew, Connor Lowe, and Jake Ratliff all have 8+ touchdowns. So they can have that interception. Ryan Duckworth is going to finish today at minimum with 3 touchdowns and 1 interception, which is not exactly what you want to see. That punt will go. Now, he was leading the league in quarterback rating, completion percent, and of course, well, not really anything else, to be honest. I thought it was going to be yards per completion, but no, he's actually about 4th in that division, and a screen pass, loss of 1. Interesting performance there. 2nd 11 for the Timberwolves. As Branch head up to the right. Branch had a block, but number 64 or 46 was unable to see that number there. Was unable to finish that block. Go. It's back to pass. Blitz over the middle. Booth with a great catch. Gain of 7. Anthony Treese now coming in for Daquan Thomas. Connor Lowe now 2 of 5, 6 yards. Not exactly the greatest performances here. Branch off to the right. Branch has some speed, but he's taken down. Gain of 3. Daquan Thomas back in for D'Anthony Treese now. And now Lowe will motion the man out to the right. Empty backfield. Back to pass. He's got all day. He's going to throw a check down. Jackson's going to charge forward. Gain of 3. D'Anthony Treese now subbing back in again for Daquan Thomas. Thomas having a bit of a stamina situation over here. Branch off to the left, and Branch gets the 1st down and then some. 13-yard gain there. We're finally getting some more offense since the first drive of the game. Jonathan Carmichael coming in. Amari Branch, 5 for 26. Of course, we'll check out some of these other stats as the game goes along, as that's a play action. Lots of pressure. It's off his back foot to Lee. That's a gain of 11 yards, and Lowe moving the ball down. Amari Branch now subbing back in for Jonathan Carmichael. So about even in the rushing and passing performance. 2-yard advantage for the rushing performance here. Branch charging forward for a gain of 7. 2nd and 3rd. Steven Tolliver now subbing in for Jalen Nesmith. And obviously Carmichael now in. 2nd and 3 again. I stated before, but that'll be the end of the first quarter. 0-0. And of course, these free agents, this GFL league has its bright spots. This first quarter, not exactly the brightest. His Branch off to the left, and Branch charging. Gain of 7 yards. I think if they'd given us about 3 more minutes, we perhaps could have seen a touchdown. Unfortunate. Amari Branch about to break 50 yards on the day. 7 for 40. Low back to pass. Empty backfield. Going to swing it out to the back, I think. O'Brien, no. That is, of course, a wide receiver, because I don't know how to understand the concept of saying empty backfield. course, there are some teams that do like to put their running backs out in a 5-wide set for some reason. Low back to pass, tossing it. Lee charging forward, gain of 4. That'll be a first down. And Kenny Lee will sub in for Kenny Lee. So, all right. That means the game didn't know how to process that he had enough stamina, as Lowe will throw that too high. So 2nd and 10 now. Connor Lowe, 6 of 10, 31, so 60% on the day. Back to pass, thrown over the middle, and that will be an incomplete pass. Coming in today, he had a 60% completion rate, so he is on target for his normal performance. Low, lobbing it to the end zone, deflected. Oh my goodness. A chance at it. Now we're going to go for a field goal and get some points on the board from 60 to now 50. Not exactly what Lowe wanted, and the kick is missed. Oh my goodness, a 37-yard chip shot. Lindbergh is no good. Something that the GFL could perhaps look into is better kickers, as Singleton off to the right. Oh, Singleton not fast enough. Gain of 12 yards. Had the lane, did not have the speed. He is the Jai of the Eagles at this moment. As that should have been an automatic touchdown, but he's a little bit too slow. Handoff to Singleton again. Singleton again with another lane. Too slow for a first down, so now it'll be 2nd and 1. And now Justin Gilroy will come in for Demarion Singleton. Singleton about to eclipse 40 yards on just 4 attempts, and Gilroy's going to lose 4, so that'll be a TFL. So what was an automatic first down on a run play turns into now a pass play. Duckworth back to pass, lobbing it. Oh my goodness, one-on-one coverage with a defensive back behind and trailing. Unable to snag that one down. 4th and 4. Cashman now will punt this one deep. And Milner, oh my goodness, had that man broken out of his ankles. My goodness. Didn't even need the stiff arm, just needed the footwork. Again up to Branch. Branch, oh my goodness. How did he do it? Gain of 10 yards. They're going to say it's 2nd and inches, though. Jonathan Carmichael subbing in for Branch. After many, many years of watching Axis football, you can tell when it's going to be an inches situation and when it's going to be a first down, as Carmichael gets his first positive yardage for a first down of the day. As Lowe will throw that over the head of the wide receiver. Interesting tactic. I don't think I'd do that myself. Branch gets the handoff. Branch with a lane. Chopped down. Gain of 9 yards. Carmichael now subbing in. Headed in today, James Hampton was the leading running back in the league, as Carmichael is taken down after a gain of 3. However, he is no longer playing with the Toledo Timberwolves. At least for today, as Branch taken down, loss of 3 yards. Tackled by Walker. And of course, as I said before, or if I did not state, I will state now, the GFL is still a little bit new to this entire league. Slow back to pass. He's going to launch this one, nearly intercepted on 2nd and 13. It'll be now 3rd and 13. So, of course, a couple of these players, moves, transactions, a little bit unknown to me. So I'm going to try to find out where this man went. Is Low off to the right. Oh, great DB coverage there. Taking that one down. So, of course, Mooney punting that one. The man who leads the league in the stats for the running backs was, of course, picked up by the Virginia Beach Mariners. He is now on the practice squad. So Toledo Timberwolves do lose one of their best offensive weapons as Singleton charging forward, gain of 5. And, of course, as it would be, the 2 best rushing attacks in Toledo and Honolulu. Singleton off to the right. Singleton with a lane charging, gain of 15 yards. And as it would be, as fate would have it for the Timberwolves, Demarion Singleton is the 2nd league leader in rushing, which he will now be the 1st in the league. They tied at 419, believe it or not. Duckworth hit as he throws, launching it, deflected down. I think what's the most hilarious is that on 7 less attempts, Hampton had the exact same amount of yards, but Singleton has 4 times the amount of touchdowns. Ryan Duckworth going to leave today with a massive regression, 2 for 11. McCullough taken down. Shoulder tackled. Duckworth back to pass, 1-on-1. Messina. I'm going to pronounce that name a couple different ways because I do not believe there is a pronunciation chart here in the GFL League. So it's the 2-minute warning. So this man is going to be called all sorts of things today. Messina, Messina. You can even call him Messina. Duckworth lobbing it to the left with triple coverage. 2nd and 10. Of course, Tommy Messina is their #1 wide receiver. Travis McCullough tying that. Duckworth launching it to the right. Jermaine Looney, 3rd for this team. Heading on over to the Toledo Timberwolves, they have Marcus Milner, Kendall Booth, and Sherman O'Brien. 3 wide receivers. Duckworth launching it over the middle, wide open, and he dropped it. Oh my goodness. So now Honolulu will aim to take the lead today. Ryan Duckworth, 4 of 16, 76 yards, and a single interception. And this kick is no good. So if anybody has a kicker on their practice squad, they do not want. I think the GFL could be in desperate need of some kickers. As Lowe launching this to the right, that will be dropped. GFL having a bit of a, I would say, UFL, perhaps a, not OG XFL, but perhaps XFL 2.0 issue. A lot of kickers who simply can't make it. For sure, the UFL right now with Michigan does not need a kicker. In fact, he's probably going to get signed immediately as Branch gets taken down with the TFL loss of 3, and Honolulu will take a timeout. And that had to be the greatest name I've ever seen. That man's name was Profit with TFL. I'm going to find that man right now. Milton Profit. 2 F's and 2 T's. His family's not messing around with that last name. Defensive end. Oh, my goodness. Honolulu now on the offense. Duckworth lobbing it, and that'll be deflected down. 2nd and 10. And that play took 11 seconds. Believe that or not. My goodness, McCullough, gain of 18 yards. That'll be a 1st down, and the clock will continue to drop. It's 5 wide receivers. Time of possession has now been 17 seconds. Duckworth back to pass, launching it. Oh, had a chance at that one. Unable to get that one as they are trying to do as many quick passes as they can. Ryan Duckworth about to enter 25% completion rate. Oh my goodness, and that one was dropped as well. Honolulu not looking too great. Ryan Duckworth now at 25% completion rate. Duckworth back to pass, launching it, dropped and or deflected again. So this one will be punted away again. So the 2-minute warning does strike once again. That'll be into the end zone. Low back to pass, defenders in his face, sacked, loss of 7. And this will probably be the end of it. Profit with the sack. And no, Toledo will hurry up the offense to get to the line and snap this ball. Low, one-on-one, deflected down. Not enough air on that pass. Threw it directly to the defensive back, who simply had to put his hands up. 3rd and 17, 30 seconds left, and at this point I feel like everyone should just go ahead and wrap it up as Branch gets taken down for a loss of 3. 4th and 19. You can now tell that the teams who are really, really good, once they get their players taken away, well, it doesn't make them look so good. Rushing attack for Toledo, not looking that hot. Singleton taken down. 9 seconds remain. This should be about a Hail Mary and then a timeout followed by a field goal. Of course, that being if they can even get the pass, and they launch it. Oh, my goodness. Right between the hands. That would have been a perfect catch, tackle, timeout, and a field goal. We're not going to get any of that now. Duckworth back to pass. That'll be deflected down, 2 seconds left, and now they're going to go with another Hail Mary. on this third down potentially. And if not, I'd be severely confused, but it does look like they will, and they are. 3rd and 10, here we go. He's going to throw it before they get to the 30. He does, then it's deflected down. And that'll end the first half. So, there you go. If anybody doesn't understand what happens when you take good players off of teams, they may not be the best, the highest, or the greatest of overall, but they have an impact on their team. And without James Hampton, this team clearly looks like a completely different team, at least in the run game aspect of it all. Branch. Oh my goodness, what a spin move. Gain of 5 yards. Carmichael now subbing in. Low back to pass, 4-man rush. Off to O'Brien, gain of 4 yards. That was a really good comeback route. Amari Branch now subbing in. Empty backfield though, 5 wide receivers. Let's make sure that I understand that one. So we're going to find out if they do another screen pass here. They don't. They got a 4-man rush. Oh, deflected. And number, I think that was 18. Just didn't see the ball coming his way. He could have stopped, turned around, caught it, and potentially ran for a touchdown. So 4th and 1, a potential hopeful drive back to Singleton now. He's going to charge forward past the 25-yard marker. He'll be shy at the 30 at the 29.5. Empty backfield now for Honolulu as well. Duckworth back to pass. Duckworth launching it straight into a linebacker who simply cannot catch. And now we're going to go another empty backfield. So no run game for Honolulu despite the necessity of a run game. 4 wide receivers to the right. Potentially a tight end on the right as well. 1-on-2 coverage. And that was a no-go from the start. A blitz on the left from the defense, but I'll tell you, it didn't look like it. Ryan Duckworth just getting absolutely nuked after this game, I can tell you that. As Duckworth back to pass, caught, gain of 1, so that was a stat padding maneuver, but I hate to break it to you, you're going to have to throw 30 more passes. You're going to have to go 30 for 30 just to break potentially even. That, of course, will not happen. Milner with the turn. Milner with the truck. 1st and 10. So now low flanked by his running back and his fullback. Hands off to Branch. Branch, I don't want to assume that he's slower than his fullback, but I think he's definitely slower than his fullback. Let's see. As low back to pass, launching it deep. That is dropped. No, he's actually faster than Broussard, but somehow Broussard had faster explosion off the line the second that ball went there. And Milner with improbable catch. As Kenny Lee subs in from Milner. That should have been a deflection. Marcus Lovelace now getting subbed down after that maneuver. And he's going to launch it again and tap. I'm going to break the 4th wall here. That was like a foot above his hand, but the force is what he has. So he force pulled the ball into his hands. So Marcus Lovelace now subbing in for Treese. And Branch trying to get something going. Gain of 4. 2nd and 6. And Ryan Tapp now subbing in for Dakota McGowan. And now Branch in the backfield. Pitch onto the right. Branch unable to beat his man. Loss of 1. 3rd and 7. That's Spears with the TFL. Carmichael now in, but it doesn't matter because they're going 4 wide receivers and a tight end. Tap the tight end, number 49 to the right. 2 wide receivers with him. Low to the end zone. Off target. Deflected down. 4th and 7. And now we get a field goal for a hopeful first score. Lindbergh with the kick. Can we finally get it? No, we don't. 34-yard field goal is no good. So both these field goals that have been attempted by both teams, 2 for Toledo, 1 for Honolulu, are no good. And we enter the halfway mark of the third, 0-0. Not exactly what you'd expect to see from the team who is leading the league in record. As Honolulu deep pass, unable to come down with it. Deflected down before the receiver could get his hands on it. And now we're back to 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. 3rd and 7. Here we go. Exotic blitz over the right. DPI will not be called there for some unknown reason. And it will now be a punt. The only way you can get DPI is if the game randomly triggers a random number for you and decides, hey, you know what, I want to call DPI today. Not when a linebacker, defensive back, or defensive lineman physically stop the receiver from getting to the ball, move them off their route after 5 yards, or physically stop them in their place. You don't get DPI then, and you won't get it now. Milner with a 35-yard catch. Kenny Lee subbing back in. Milner, he's helping Connor Lowe slowly trudge back in. He might be able to get lucky and go 15 for 30. He's going to throw that one away, so he will not get lucky. So 50% may not be in his repertoire today. Marcus Milner subbing back in for Lee. Brewer subbing in for Treese. And now we're back to a 4 wide receiver, 1 tight end. They've both given up on the run game, and honestly, I kind of don't blame him, but Lowe wants to try to run this for some reason. It's going to be a sack, a loss of 1, and Hunsaker, Aaron Hunsaker, 2 deflections, 1 tackle, and 1 sack. That is a GFL deploy right there. It's 4th and 11. And now we will attempt another field goal, this from 38 yards. We'll see how well this one goes. Kick is up. Kick is no good. Oh my goodness. So Lindbergh is potentially going to get kicked off the team at this point. I don't know how you don't go up 9-0 at this rate with how many chip shot field goals this man has had. Duckworth up to Singleton. Singleton taken down. Gain of only 6. 2nd and 4. Marion Singleton almost at 100 yards. The most shocking stat of it all. 8 times 8 is 64. This man is averaging 8 yards a carry. Yes, I did rhyme that out. I think we all had to do that in elementary. This man is potentially going to get a high progression, potentially, if we can check out the GFL progression guides. It's Duckworth back to pass. Sacked, loss of 9. 2nd and 19, Deanda. Or I guess you could say Donda. Gustavo Donda. 1 sack, 1 tackle. As for rushing, if we average 8+ in the rushing category, there's a fumble. McCullough with the recovery, gain of 6 yards. 3rd and 13, a potential swing for Toledo taken away. If you get the average rush, you gain tackle break. Speed, you have to go for a long. Fumbles, you got to have 0. Obviously, Honolulu not going to get that one today. And rushing, you got to get a touchdown for awareness. So most of this obviously is, of course, what the NAGA does follow. GFL is a very, very good version of a practice field for these type of regressions, progressions, and whatnot. Milner taken down. So let's go ahead, and we're going to look at the special teams now because he's missed 3 field goals now. So less than 20% field goal percentage. He's going to lose 3 awareness. Let's branch off to the left, gain of 4. So he's going to lose 3 awareness. He's going to lose 2 kick power. And that's about it. As Branch going to spin move, fumble, and Hunsaker. Oh my goodness, he's too slow. No. Oh my goodness. So now Honolulu gets the ball back. This time they're inside the 20. That, if he didn't score there, that might not be a score for today. Singleton with all the lane. 1 man to beat, gain of 5 yards. That'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. We've gone 3 quarters scoreless. 4th quarter here is 2nd and 5. The Waves knocking on the door of the Toledo end zone. And we got Singleton in the back. He's going to hand off. Singleton gets the 1st down, gain of 6 yards. Oh my goodness, we finally might have a score here, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2 plays, 11 yards, 46 seconds off the clock. Duckworth back to pass off to Looney. Looney trying to dive, stopped short, gain of 7. It's going to be at the 1 yard. Anthony Piscadio, how we're going to say that. Duckworth back to pass. Duckworth is going to lob it to the left to Rhodes, and he's pushed in for the touchdown. Freddie Allen replacing Anthony Piscotto. Terrell Rhodes subbing back in for Terrell Rhodes. And finally, someone makes a kick. This is an insurmountable lead. Who'd have thought? 7-0. This has got to be some 1940s football right now. Milner charging forward. Oh, my goodness. Toledo might be on the decline here, ladies and gentlemen. 1st and 10. Here we go. Branch off to the right. Branch. Oh, my goodness. Number 9 got absolutely demolished on his own block. He got thrown back 3 yards. 2nd and 6. Here we go. Branch in the back. Hand off to Branch. Branch has a lane. He's charging forward. Gets the 1st down. Here we go. D'Anthony Treese subbing for Jason Gadsden. Carmichael in for Branch. Carmichael off right. Ooh, goodness, good evasion there. Charging forward, gain of 7. So now it's 2nd and 3rd. Sean Boone and Gadsden subbing in for Lovelace and Treese. Houghton subbing in for someone. I believe that was Carmichael. Now they're on their 3rd running back. Oh my goodness, the slowness, the big man charge, gain of 5. 1st and 10, Branch back in, but they're going to go 5 wide receivers, so it doesn't even matter. Low back to pass, lobbing it to Lee. Lee charging forward, gain of 3. I think that was the slowest 1st down I've ever seen in my life. That was pretty interesting. Go! As low back to pass, sacked, loss of 8. Now they're going to have to go into a pass mode. They should have just ran it, and they didn't. So now this is what you get. Here we go. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. 3rd and 15. You got to get it. Do you got it? Oh, my goodness. What a defensive play there. Should have been an automatic touchdown pass. Honolulu with the ever-insurmountable lead of 7-0. All right. I don't know how he did that. Singleton pulled the ball to himself, and instead of being at the 19 or 18, they're now at the 30, so I think that is the game saying that Honolulu will win irregardless. Gain of 3 there. Singleton off to the left. Oh my goodness, a good run. Gain of 11 yards, and this will probably be the end of it all if they can continue doing this. They're going to burn the clock all the way down. Got 4.5 minutes at the snap. Duckworth, for some reason, going to pass and throw a screen pass, and it's going to go incomplete. So the only thing that was worse there that could have happened is if he caught it and then went into bounds. Duckworth play action. Oh my God, who was that? 5-yard gain. Oh my God, I need to look at the linebackers. That man was a bullet train. My goodness, who was that? 3rd and 5 as I search for this. 10 for 35. My God, what a stat line that is. Look at the linebackers here. A little bit of a mix-up here. As far as speed goes, the fastest that possibly could have been is Jacoby Bratton or Freddie Allen. One of those two just shot through the gap like Aaron Donald on Geno Smith. That was crazy. If you haven't seen that video, you should. It is Aaron Donald doing a stunt where he spins around. It all happens in less than like 3 seconds. He goes around his own defender, and if you thought that was fast, he then hits another gear and charges forward and almost hits Geno Smith. The play was less than 3 seconds. He had enough time to do a stunt around his own defender, around 2 offensive linemen, and charge through a gap in 3 seconds. It was crazy. Low back to pass, going to drop off to O'Brien. O'Brien with the shed, but it's not going to do much. It's still going to be a no gain. 2nd and 10 to Anthony Treese now coming in for Joe Brewer. And Lee and Branch now subbing in for their respective players. As Branch off to the left, has got some blocks, and Branch will get the 1st down, gain of 11. Just 3 minutes left. Carmichael and O'Brien back in. Brewer back for Treese. 5 wide receivers set here. Don't know exactly why you would do that. Low back to pass. Hit as he's going. Loss of 7. That's why you don't pass here. And Bullock now with a sack added here. 5 wide receivers set again. We're going to hit the 2-minute warning here. Any rush plays you thought could have been good, they will no longer be used now after this 3rd down play. If they can convert this 1st down, they might have a shot. If they don't, the game is effectively over. Here we go. Low back to pass. Going to launch it into quadruple coverage. 4th and 17, and they got to go for it. And if they don't convert, it is over. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. 3 seconds remain until the 2-minute warning. Motions the man, 4-man rush, lobbing into triple coverage, and as everyone in the building knew, that was going to be incomplete. 2-minute warning, Honolulu now takes over at the 35-yard line. Duckworth off to Singleton. Singleton taken down after a gain of 6 yards. Toledo will now call a timeout, 2nd and 4. Motions the man from the right out to the left. 4 wide receivers, 1 running back. Singleton almost had a first down, gain of 3. Toledo will burn their 2nd timeout. And now you got to pray, and they do. You had to pray that they're going to pass, so now you got to hope you can stop them. And he's going to lob it straight to a wide open Waters. And that will be the game, ladies and gentlemen. The Honolulu Waves take a 7-0 victory. If not for a forced fumble, this could have been double overtime with nobody scoring. It's unfortunate. We will never see that. Go ahead and wrap this game up, and you can obviously see that the free agency, although helpful to the NAGA, if you have any aspirations of continuing to win in the GFL, that's probably never going to happen again. Duckworth kneels it out. It's 4th and 15, and that'll be the end of the game. Toledo spiraling down. They're going to end today on a loss. As Wyatt simply standing there threatening them to miss another field goal. Singleton, the offensive MVP, 2 yards shy of 100 yards on 15 rushes. Hunsicker, 1 sack, 2 tackles, 3 pass deflections as a linebacker. Of course, both quarterbacks are going to get regressed into the ground beyond belief. Duckworth potentially going to get all his awareness and throw power taken away. Sorry, accuracy and throw power, as well as Connor Lowe's going to potentially lose just a little bit of throw power. Accuracy definitely going to be taken down. Game stats here. Branch, 22 for 79. Selby, the defensive back, 3 tackles, 8 pass deflections. Look at the team leaders here, both ending with a less than 60 QBR right there. And Guillory ending with a 1 for -4 yard rush. That's not exactly the greatest you ever want to see. And of course, now we head on over to team stats. Total plays 66 to 59, 27 to 20, 39 pass plays apiece. And of course, you can see Honolulu getting 4 sacks, only letting up 2. Both teams with a turnover, the interception for Honolulu and the forced fumble for Toledo. So obviously those two teams getting unfortunate news for both of their teams. So passing-wise, rushing here. Receiving right here. And obviously what's probably going to stand out the most is the targets. And you can see nobody had more than 2 catches. 3 catches, if you want to be real courteous, for most of those attempts. Tackle-wise, Freddie Allen leading the day for the Timberwolves. Sack-wise, Williamson and Donda. Interception is Jalen Booth, TFL DeMarcus Williamson. And of course, Joseph Selby with 8 deflected passes, the second best being Greg Carlton at 3. Antoine Norwood with a forced fumble. And of course, you kind of got everything else, and I think the most interesting one is going to be that 0 for 3. That's got to be the absolute worst. Oh my goodness. But on the bright side, you do have a player that ends with 2 punts inside the 20 with 0 touchbacks, but I don't think any of these people really have enough leg to kick a punt for a touchback, to be completely honest with you. So Rhodes with the only touchdown here. Of course, tackle-wise. And, of course, he was pushed into the end zone as well, so it wasn't exactly like he caught a touchdown pass. He was sort of pushed into a touchdown pass. TFL here, deflected passes, a little bit more normal for the Waves. Forced fumble Nesmith, and recovery Hunsicker. Of course, here you can see the punt return and kick return both by Singleton. And, of course, kicking and punts.